NAQT, National Academic Quiz Tournaments. NAQT is pleased to welcome you to this training session, Keeping Score in NAQT Quiz Bowl. This video will introduce you to the NAQT score sheet and teach you how to use it, preparing you to work as a scorekeeper at NAQT's National Championship tournaments. The scorekeeper is one of the two game officials in NAQT matches. The scorekeeper's basic function is to keep the official record of the game on the official score sheet. This includes keeping a running score during the game, tracking player scoring and compiling totals at the end of the match, and assisting the moderator with timing and with buzzers when the moderator requests it. The moderator may also consult with the scorekeeper in circumstances where the scorekeeper's input could be useful, such as when the moderator is uncertain which player signaled or what answer a player gave. The official NAQT score sheet is available online at naqt.com/downloads. Please take a moment to download and print a copy to follow along. You can also find an example of a correctly completed score sheet for your reference. At NAQT's National Championship tournaments, official score sheets are always yellow. White sheets are provided to teams and should not be used as official score sheets. At the top of the sheet is the title block. This is where you will record some basic information about the game. The event is the tournament or league you're working in, such as the 2017 HSNCT, and the room is the game room where the match is taking place. Round indicates which round of the tournament this game is in. Check your schedule or ask your moderator if you're not sure. Packet is which packet number is being used in that round. Be careful, this is often, but not always, the same as the round number. Finally, the names of the officials, you as the scorekeeper, and your partner as the moderator. The next section is for information about the two teams playing in the game. It's very important that you get all of this correctly so that the control room knows exactly who was playing and doesn't have to come ask you if there is a question. Put the name of the team to your left in this box. To the right, record the identifying letter of the team if it is using one. In this case, it's City High's A team, so write A. This is to distinguish it from City High's B or C teams if they have them. Next, write down the team's home state. Write the names of the 4 players on the team in these boxes. You only need to record the players who start the game for now. Unless your tournament director tells you otherwise, please get both first and last names. Write the names in the same order as the players are sitting in front of you. This will make things much easier for you. Then record the same information for the team to your right. Finally, in the team information area is the timeout box. When a team uses its one timeout, check the box for the correct team. This team may no longer call timeout. That brings us to the main part of the score sheet, the scoring area. Down the center are toss-up numbers. Each toss-up has one line to record what happens on that toss-up and its bonus if a team earns one. Each player has a separate column to record points he or she scores on toss-up questions. Additional columns to the right are provided for the bonus points, total points per cycle, and cumulative score for the team. On any toss-up, if a player answers the toss-up correctly, write their score in that player's box for that toss-up. For example, if Amanda answers toss-up 3 correctly after the power mark, mark 10 in Amanda's box for toss-up 3. If instead Deb answers it for power, mark 15 in Deb's box. If Helen interrupted the moderator and was ruled incorrect or assessed a conferral penalty, mark -5 in Helen's box. When one team earns a bonus question, you will record the results in the bonus parts column on the line for the toss-up that team just answered. Each bonus question has 3 parts worth 10 points each and corresponding to the 3 boxes on each line in the bonus parts column. For each part of a bonus question, put a check mark for a correct answer and a dash for an incorrect answer. This example shows correct answers on the first and third parts. In the toss-up plus bonus column, Add together the toss-up score plus 10 points per correct answer on the bonus. This is the team's score for that cycle. Finally, add the cycle score to their total score from the previous line. This is the team's new cumulative score. Note that you only have to write here if a team's score changed. If nobody on one team earned or lost any points for a given toss-up, you can leave the box blank. If nobody answers a toss-up correctly, including if one team was penalized, slash through that toss-up's number. This lets the statisticians know that the toss-up was not answered in that room and helps you fix any mistakes you make later. Now let's walk through a few toss-ups in this game. On toss-up 1, Amanda buzzes in and answers correctly for 10 points. On the bonus, her team earns 20 points, so they gain 30 for cycle 1. Since they had no points before, their cumulative score is also 30. Next, on toss-up 2, Helen rings in and answers correctly for power and 15 points. Her team answers one bonus part for 10 points, so the cycle score and cumulative score are both 25. On the next toss-up, number 3, Gabby interrupts the moderator and is incorrect. She loses 5 points, so State Charter A loses 5 points for the cycle, and their cumulative score is 25 minus 5, or 20 points. City High does not answer, so toss-up 3 goes dead. Mark a slash through toss-up 3. Note that the cumulative score boxes for City High on toss-ups 2 and 3 are blank. Since their score did not change on those two toss-ups, there's no need to fill in these numbers. On toss-up 4, this time Brenda interrupts and is penalized. Write down the minus 5 for Brenda and for her team. Note that the cumulative score is now 25. Meanwhile, on the same question, Flip buzzes in and is correct for 10 points. His team earns 10 on the bonus, so they get 20 for that cycle. Add this to the 20 that they had before, and State Charter A's cumulative score is now 40. It's worth noting here that if the moderator doesn't say or you don't hear whether a toss-up is for power or not, whether there is a penalty or not, or how many bonus points a team earned, if you catch it before the moderator starts reading the next question, you may quickly ask him or her for this information. If you don't get there in time, that's okay. Make a note on your score sheet and ask the moderator the next time the clock is stopped. Few games, if any, will have a half as short as 4 toss-ups, but for this example, let's say that it's now halftime. Mark a line across the page so you know where halftime happened. Since it's halftime, teams may substitute. This can also happen at timeouts or before the start of overtime. When this happens, you'll write down the names of the new players in the next empty player box. Then draw a line through the toss-up questions that the new player did not hear so far in the game. If you're using a pencil, you may also draw a line through the remaining toss-ups of the player that has just been replaced. In this case, Emily comes in for Charlie. On the other side, Jonah comes in for Gabby. Multiple substitutions are permitted, so if there are more substitutes than you have space, you may use the margins or use a blank score sheet if one is available. Please, though, don't trip up the statisticians. Only one player per column. Anytime the clock stops more than momentarily, most frequently halftime and timeouts, the scorekeeper should announce the score loudly, both to inform the room and so that those keeping score themselves can confirm that the score is correct. If there is a disagreement, go line by line, just like we've done in this example, to learn where the discrepancy lies. Once you've found it, look at the question packet to help you figure out what actually happened. One last note in the game area. If there is a protest or another strange event during the game, make a mark in the margin indicating when the incident took place, and explain what happened in the margin or on the back of the page if necessary. This is the official record of the match, so any activity that might affect statistics or the outcome of the game should be noted. If a match goes to overtime to decide a winner, those toss-up questions are recorded here. There are no bonus questions in overtime, but the toss-ups are scored and recorded normally. If the game is still tied after 3 overtime toss-ups, additional toss-up questions will be read until somebody changes the score. This includes interrupt penalties. Use the fourth and final overtime line to record the deciding question. No information need be recorded for one of these additional questions that goes unanswered with no change in score. When the game ends, the scorekeeper should announce the final score and settle any discrepancies. Once the score is agreed upon, the final task is to add up the totals. First, make note of how many toss-ups each player heard. Use the lines you drew at substitutions to help you. If overtime was played, those questions are counted in the total. Next, for each player, record the number of 15-point scores, the number of 10-point scores, and the number of -5-point scores. For example, if a player had exactly one each of 15, 10, and -5, the column should read 1, 1, 1. To reiterate, this is the number of scores, not the number of points. If a player didn't have any of a particular kind of score, just leave the box blank. You don't need to write the 0. After this, determine the number of points scored by each player on toss-up questions. For the first column, 15 plus 10 minus 5 equals 20. For the second, 2 times 10 minus 5 equals 20 minus 5 equals 15, and so on. Again, if a player didn't score, simply leave the box blank. After doing this, find the number of points from toss-ups for the whole team by summing the individual players' toss-up scores. This next step is important. Use the bonus column to add up the bonus points. Please use the actual bonus points column to add up this number. This will serve to double-check our work in a moment. Finally, add the toss-up and bonus scores together to find a final score, and here is the double-check. The final score should match the final entry in the cumulative score column for that team. If it does, you're all set. You can submit your score sheet. If it does not, you have an error somewhere and you need to find it. If you need to, ask for help from the moderator and anyone else who was keeping score in the room. Go line by line and find the error. This double-check step is very important. In past national championship tournaments, errors in close games have caused us to have to go tell a team who thought they had won a key match that they had actually lost. The single best way to prevent this is to do a double-check correctly. Please do this every time you fill out a score sheet. At the end of each game, the head coach or captain of each team must approve the final score by initialing in this box. This indicates that there are no outstanding concerns with the score or the outcome of the match, and it must happen before the teams leave the room. If any protests or other concerns arise after this page has been initialed, they will be considered only at the discretion of NAQT and may be summarily denied. Finally, space is provided for you to elaborate on anything that took place during the match that might be confusing to the statisticians or to the control room. This might include questions that were inadvertently skipped, replaced, or read out of order, messy substitutions, protests, or any other information that you think is needed for the score sheet to be a complete record of the game. The next training session in this series is an opportunity for you to keep the score of part of a game on video. When you're ready to continue on, you'll need a printed score sheet. Whether you're a player, a coach, a game official, a parent, or just interested in our game, Quiz Bowl information of all kinds is available on our website. For rules and score sheets, tournament schedules, practice questions, and resources for running your own Quiz Bowl tournament, please visit us at NAQT.com. Thank you for taking the time to learn how to keep score. We appreciate your interest in and dedication to our game, and we hope to see you at one of our national championship tournaments very soon.